in YouTube. You've got to be careful. Somebody will say, if you sleep with your wife standing up, there's a place that is reserved for them in hell. And before you say that, after they have said they have seen one revelation or the other, the next thing they do is the clothing line. Say, if you want to look holy, this is the clothing line. And some of the cloths, people look like masquerade. I said, this cannot be God. And they start making money, and everybody start calling them mama. At age 21, they are mama. And if you see crowd on Facebook say, oh, the Lord bless you, woman of God, somebody will just start. The person is not listening to a pastor in the church. On Facebook, they are calling her mama. It's a dummy mama. The greatest position of greatness is submission. It's the greatest position of greatness. We know how great people are, but how submitted they are. Jesus, there was nothing he could not do on earth. Jesus was God, for your information. He was fully God and fully man. Everything the devil asked him to do in temptation, he could do it and nothing will happen. He could jump up from the pinnacle of the temple, and it will come down and nothing will happen to him. But he just chose to submit to God. Did it involve insult? Yes. Did it involve? As a matter of fact, we don't know submission until there are insults and you ignore. It's not submission until something is coming at you there. That you see, submission, you say, I submitted and he's giving me money. You have not submitted. It's not submission. They slap him, they spat on him, they say, prophesy to us who slaps you. And he said, Father, forgive them, they don't know what they are doing. He submitted himself to death, even the death of the cross. There are so many people on Facebook, everywhere, on YouTube, both men and women. They don't listen to nobody. They just come to Facebook and know what God has spoken to me. What did God speak to you? And so many voices from every strange voices. And before you say that, some of them say, God has asked me to drop my wife because my wife is hindering my ministry. Your wife is hindering your ministry? That hindrance is the first ministry. Succeeding in it means you have really succeeded. Then you can succeed with me. Yoruba people used to say that anybody that wants to give us cloth, we look at the one he's wearing. You say, I want to give you cloth, that just look at you. And I say, please, we have clothes. Sorry. Because I see what you are wearing. It's like masquerade. I say, please, I beg you. I just beg you. Please, we have clothes. Then you see another person smelling nice perfume and all of those. What I say, we want to give you clothes. He say, the Lord bless you, my sister. It's God that sent you. Are you listening to what I'm saying? Are you listening to what I'm saying? People who are no longer submitted to God. Well, he said, great peace have they that love thy law. I was asking God, so what is the connection between your law and peace? He said, because there is no other way that God relates with man except through his words. There is no other way God reveals himself except through his words. In the time of Samuel, the Bible says there was no open vision and the word of the Lord was cast. And for people to know God, what did God begin to do? He began to reveal himself to Samuel in Shiloh by means of his word. Are you listening to what I'm saying now? By means of his word. If you want to know, what is it? What did we do wrong? If you want to know how much of God somebody has, you need to know how much of the word of God that is in them and how much of the word of God they act on. And it's very easy to see, to know how much of God somebody has. We will get to how to have peace with men. You know, we will get to how to have peace with men. Then you will know how to live a relationship. You will know how to live a church, how to live a department, how to go about things, how we really know that God is the one that spoke to you. How we know that God, you have really heard God, that you're not going to hurt somebody. There are so many hot pastors everywhere around the world, so many hot husbands. Somebody just travels to South Africa. Before you say, Jack, he told his wife, he said, God has shown me my real wife. The wife, first of all, thinks, does God exist? How can this happen to me? The name of the Lord is blasphemed by what you say you heard of God. Nonsense. A lot of nonsense that we call. Everybody just wake up with one feeling, we say it's God. Just wake up with one thought, we say it's God. I hope you don't go to hell. Because some people don't think from the perspective of eternity before they say, thus said the Lord. Or before they say, do you know the meaning of the word God? That the children of Israel cannot mention it. When they are writing Bible, if they write, before they write the word God, they go and clean themselves. They become really holy. And they finish writing it, they go and clean themselves. They rather call God by many names in Israel without calling the word God directly. They don't call the word. The Elohim is a heavy word. They call him Yahweh. They call him Asem. They call him the fear of Isaac. They call him the father of Elijah. They call him several names. And so many of us, we're so reckless to put God on what we are saying. When God is so far away. What makes God far away? When you are far away from his word. The word of the Lord is so sweet. You know, you will read in Matthew. You read, what you want to do, go and do quickly. But if you stop in Matthew, you just go and do silly things like Judas. Because he was the one Jesus told us, say, what you do, what thou doest, do quickly. You just say, receive the word. Nonsense. Then you need to read down to John and say, who sent you? Then you balance yourself. Then you need to Romans, where he say, now I want to send you. Then you stand up again. Because by the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, a truth will be established. You can weigh whether you have the word of God or acting on the word of God by your character, by what you assume. Do you have often anger, pain in your heart against people? As I'm standing with you here right now, I have many people that have offended me, but there is nothing but love in my heart towards those people. I can't think of any evil thing towards them. When I see that the pain is too much, I go into fasting. This fasting is not God kill him. This fasting is that God let Christ be formed in him. Because Paul said, to be able to understand with all the saints, the depth, the height, the length and the breadth of the love of God, we need to be strengthened with might in the inner man by the Spirit of God. And I've been praying that prayer, and the more I pray that prayer, the more I understand men better. You know, before, I used to think that anybody who comes to church should just become holy. Nonsense thinking. Many people who came to Jesus looking for help were not holy. They just received help and left. They didn't even see his address anymore. When somebody say, who healed you? He said, one man there. Then Jesus will now meet him in the temple. He say, this is the Son of Man, go and sin no more. He said, who is the Son of Man? He said, me. That healed. He said, hey, it's you. Sorry. I didn't know. I used to be angry about every single thing. Baby pastor. So many baby pastors. There are boys of God, there are men of God, there are girls of God, there are women of God. You can grow. We cannot grow. I have nothing in my heart but love for anybody. No matter what you do. Nothing but love. You say, why? Because I understand the word of God. And I know the anger of man does not produce the righteousness of God. Neither can he ever. But blessed are the meek, for this I inherit the heart. If you want to know who is the meek, go and study the life of Moses. Because he only spoke once. So you will know that this man, what they have used, what his eyes have seen. He only spoke once to let people know his anger. What these people have, what these people have done to him. But he missed Canaan land right away. And he came to God to pray 3 times. And God said, can you stop? I'm not at peace with you. Can you stop? And God buried him alive. No wonder one day Pastor Chris said, he said, if you understand